Hi everybody, this is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 17. In this lesson, we will learn about exceptions to the closed syllable rule. The first one that we're going to learn about is all, A-L-L. So let's get started. We'll set up the table. We'll begin with the top 160 sight words. You'll also need the sight word study method instruction sheet, the card pack on which the student is currently working, some blank cards for introducing new sight words, a highlighter, some markers, and some pencils. For the short vowel drill, you'll have the teacher instruction sheet, the keyword pictures, and the keyword sentence. Then for the phonemic awareness drill, you'll need the instruction sheet and the tiles. For the visual and auditory drill, you'll have the teacher instruction sheet and the student card pack. Then the blending drill is noticeably absent from the table because we've moved on to the syllable card drill. You'll have to cut out this one in advance. And remember, it's nice to have the syllable number 2 easily identifiable by having a different color on it. Then we'll have the magnetic letter tile drill for reading and spelling, the instruction sheet, and the cookie sheet with the magnetic letter tiles spread in a rainbow shape. You'll have the syllable card instruction sheet and the new phoneme grapheme kinesthetic discovery sheet, but we won't be introducing a new one today probably because we do have some new content today. Then you'll have the sheets that came with the lesson plan, including the isolated word list, the connected text, which is the story, and the sentences for the writing section. We'll begin with the sight word study method. Student, you'll take out your card pack, which is the words on which you're currently working. Read through each card. When you get one correct, you're going to put a check mark in the corner of the card. Then you'll give the card pack to your teacher. Teacher, it's your turn to read at that point, and you will read each word and the student will write it down. The student will use the other corner of the card to put a check mark for each word that's written correctly. And when you encounter problems, remember to use the blocking strategies. Afterwards, you will remove any mastered words from the card pack. And if there's time, you will introduce a new sight word. And that's where you'll use those sight word study method instruction sheet. Student, you can take out your short vowel keyword pictures right now. And we're going to do apple, apple, as many times as your teacher deems necessary, and then you'll say your keyword sentence, stretching out the vowel sounds as you do it. Let's do the phonemic awareness drill. Student, you'll need your colored tiles for this one. I'll say, your word is flip. Can you repeat that word? Let's see, if I put it in a sentence, I might say, I did a flip on the trampoline. Okay, now I'd like you to build the word flip with your colored tiles. Once you finish, tap each one and say the sound, and then underline it and say the whole word. Okay, you've got flip. Now, can you find the I in flip? Are you touching it? Change the I into an aw. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get flop? If you did, good job. Now find the f in flop. Change the f into a k. Tap it and say it. What's your new word? Did you say clop? That's right. Find the ah in clop and change the ah into an ah. Tap it and say it. Did you get clap? That's right. Okay, find the p in clap. Are you touching it? Change the p into a b. What's your new word? Did you get clab? Not a real word on its own. Let's change it into a real word. Find the ul in clab and change the ul into a What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get crab? If you did, that's right. Take away the in crab. What are you left with? Tap it and say it. Did you get cab? If you did, that's right. Now add a s onto cab. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get scab? If you did, that's right. And we'll end there. It's time for the visual drill. This is where we use the card pack. What's the sound of this one? Did you say sn? If you did, that's right. Teacher, give the student 6 to 8 flashcards and then come back to me. Now we'll do the auditory drill. Student, your sound is st. Can you repeat that sound? What letters make the sound st? Write it down, underline it, and say the sound again. Did you say ST? If you did, that's right. ST can be a beginning blend, meaning that it happens at the start of a word, like stone, or it can be an ending blend, and it can happen at the end of a word, like last. Teacher, give the student 6 to 8 flashcards using the auditory drill instructions, and then come back to me. It's time for the syllable card drill. Student, your teacher has this one all set up on the table for you. You begin by reading down the words in the left column. Then you move on to the words and read down the right column. Then you read across each row, and you're going to get nonsense words. The last step is that you get to unscramble by changing around those words that are in the second column. Leave the ones in the first column where they are. That'll make it easier. And you're just moving around column 2 words to make real words. There'll be 2 small words, but they, when put together, make a compound word. Afterwards, you and your teacher can put those words into sentences and talk about the meanings. We're going to do some syllable pounding. This is where you stretch out your arm, and then every time you hear a syllable, you bang out one of the fingers. So boom, 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 like that. Your word is edit. So I'm wondering how many vowel sounds you hear in edit. That's how many syllables. Pound it out. Did you get 2? That's what I get. I hear as in Eddie, and then it. That's the itchy sound. Edit. Try this one. Blindfold. How many in that one? Did you say 2? If you did, that's right. How about ball? I just hear 1 in ball. Try this one. Basketball. And if you have trouble, you can just put your hand under your chin and let your chin hit your hand every time a syllable happens in a word. That's what happens. Basketball. How many? Did you say 3? If you did, that's right. But apple, cat, and all. Okay, here's your last one. Magnetic. How many in that one? Did you say 3? If you did, that's right. Magnetic. Good job. We've been talking about consonant blends. Here's an example. This is a consonant blend that can appear at the end of a word, as in the word jump. Student, can you tell your teacher about the definition of a consonant blend? When you're done, we're going to have a blending drill that will help us to practice the beginning blends and the ending blends. Your teacher might have this set up on the table, and if not, then you can just follow along with me. Let's move into the new content part of our lesson. Student, we've been talking a lot about the closed syllable. Here's an example of a closed syllable. Can you tell your teacher why this word is a closed syllable? We know that this word is a closed syllable because it's got one vowel, and the vowel is followed by a consonant. It could be followed by one or more consonants. The consonant's closing the vowel in. This tells us how to say the vowel. In a closed syllable, the vowel says apple, the ah sound. So the vowel sounds for this syllable type are apple, Eddie, itchy, olive, and up sounds. If I take away the p in the word pal, is this still a closed syllable? Yes, it is, because it still has one vowel, and the vowel is still closed in by a babysitter. What would this word be? Can you tap it and say it? Did you get Al? Yeah, that's the name of a man, Alan. Short form is Al. Today, the new content is about something strange that happens when we add a second L to Al. We call this an exception to the closed syllable rule because there's a few combinations of letters where it's not making the proper apple, Eddie, itchy, olive, up sound. So when I add a second L, this is no longer Al. The A is not making the apple sound. It says all, which is really strange because we know that the O, olive, should make the aw sound. So we have to remember this as an exception because it's going to surprise us every time unless we do, because it's saying all, which it really should be made by OL, shouldn't it? Why does this happen? Well, the way that we speak changes over time, and the way that we spell doesn't. So this probably was Al when it was created, but over time we messed up the way that we say it, and it turned into all. Now there's lots and lots of words that use this pattern, ALL. So with your magnetic letter tile board, I would like you to just grab some different consonants and put them on the front. You can use consonant blends and single consonants. And we're going to remember that ALL is all. So this would be all, wall. With your magnetic letter tile board right now, try putting different consonants together with all and see what you can get. You can make nonsense words and real words. Let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for reading. Do you have your letters all in the right order? If not, take a minute and get them in order. I'm going to tell you that your sound is Can you repeat that sound? Now grab the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is Can you repeat that sound? Grab the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is S. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your last sound is T. Can you repeat that sound? Now grab the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Tap each tile and say the sound. Underline it and say the whole word. Did you get must? If you did, that's right. I must do it. Put your tiles back and get ready for your next word. Okay, your sound is S. Can you repeat that sound? Grab the correct tile and pull it to the middle. The next sound is T. Can you repeat that sound? Grab the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is all. What are the letters that make all? Remember, this is the exception to the closed syllable rule that we just learned about. Okay, when you tap this one, you're going to tap the first two sounds, and then you can tap the last three letters as the one sound of all. What's your word? Did you say stall? If you did, that's right. Teacher, if you have time, you can decide to do another word for your magnetic letter tile drill. Otherwise, you're going to read your individual word list and then read the story student. Let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for writing. Student, are you ready? I'm going to tell you that your word is runt. Can you repeat that word? Now let's use it in a sentence. I might say, that puppy is the runt of the litter, meaning that he's the smallest one. Can you use it in a sentence? Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in runt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the second sound in runt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the third sound in runt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in runt? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Tap each tile and say the sounds, then underline it and say the whole word. All right, put your tiles away and let's do your second word. Your word is ball. Can you repeat that word? Now use the word ball in a sentence. I kicked the soccer ball. Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in ball? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And then you'll need the letters for all. Can you repeat that sound? All. Find the tiles that make all and pull them to the middle. And now you're going to tap the word, tap each tile and say the whole thing. All right, good job. Let's do some finger tapping. So you'll need your pencil and your lined paper. And I'm going to tell you a word. And when you hear all, like if I said the word was ball, I would tap B, and then I'm going to do all as a whole thing. Maybe I'll do like 3 because I know there's 3 letters, and I'll just go like this for all. So B, all might be how I would do that one. Because I want to think of all like as ALL, as one unit. So let's try this. Can you tap out wall? Did you go W, all? And then you're remembering that there's 3 letters in all. Excellent. Now try to write that down. Okay, here's your next one, and you can decide if you want a finger tap or if you want to trace for this one. Your word is small. Can you repeat that word? I might say the puppy was small. Okay, tap that one out and then write it down. Okay, your teacher will check your work. And your last word is runt. Tap it or trace it out and then write it down. And it's time for sentences. So teacher, you can read the 3 sentences to the student and let them pick the 2 that they would like to write. And then when they finish a sentence, have them use chops to check the work. In today's lesson, we learned about an exception to the closed syllable rule. We know that we can really trust closed syllables, except in a few instances. So usually, it's going to make an apple sound, and then there'll be the O, so this will be al. But when we add the second L, ALL is a pattern that we call an exception because it's not al anymore. Instead, this A is making this unexpected sound of olive. So this is all. And there's many, many words that use this pattern: wall, ball, call, stall, fall. So it's really useful to recognize it. That is the end of our lesson for today. Good job. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy.